Hey, Mike Martinez here. Welcome to my very first official episode of Mondays with Mike. I'm super excited because I'm sitting down today on my very first official episode with my beautiful, lovely, amazing wife. She's never done a podcast. She absolutely hates being on camera or speaking on stage. She speaks on stages occasionally, and it's like pulling teeth, but I get her to do it. Today, you're gonna get to know the real secret behind my success is my very powerful wife. And I promise you guys, I'm gonna do my best to not get emotional. But a lot of people don't know that a wife can be the main source of your power to be successful, not just in business, not just in finance, but overall life happiness. So, without further ado, I'm gonna introduce my wife and I'm gonna do my best to pull all the questions that people probably wanna know. So, baby, give them your name, tell them a little bit about how we met, and let's get started.
Hello, guys. My name is Natalie Martinez. Of course, I'm Michael Martinez's wife. Let me tell you a little bit about how we met. We met back in 2007, uh, at a job at a collection agency. He was chosen to be my trainee there. So that's how we met. That's how I noticed him there at the job. And he just started asking me questions, like, hey, are you married? Hey, are you single? Hey. I was like, oh, hold on, hold on. I think most of successful couples out there in life, they meet at their jobs.
I think there's the best two places to meet your spouse is at work or at church.
There you go.
Not at the bar, not at the club. Those are not good fits
Right.
for the most part.
Ever since then, we've been together.
So I'm going to share a little bit of my side of that story. I was single at the time, and when you started working there, one of my good friends, he actually got your brother hired there first, Peter. Peter's my executive director of admin here now, and he got Peter hired, and then Peter got you hired. So I kind of already knew who you were, and I thought you were very beautiful, very attractive, and there was whispers around the office about who this new girl was. But we thought that you were married. So for me, it was like respect, hands off respect. And then when we started talking, and I asked you, I said, "Oh yeah, no, I know you have a kid. I know you're married." And you said, "Well, hold on, let me slow you down. I am married, but I'm separated. I'm going through a divorce," and that caught my attention. I'm like, "Really?" And then that's when I got the idea to start pursuing you. Go ahead, I'll let you finish up. So then what?
Then we started going out. Not as soon as he asked for it, right? Probably within 3 weeks, maybe it was our first date.
It was about 3 weeks, yeah.
3 weeks. He kept, calling my extension at work.
So I was a collector, but I also did sales like my whole life prior to that. I was 23 at the time. So I was good at following up. I was good at being persistent. I was good at being patient to go for the close.
So yeah, so he would call my extension and ask me, oh, if I would join him for lunch during work hours, and I said, no, I'm okay. I already ate. This were the words. Can I take you out? So I said, out, like, yeah, let's go out for dinner, let's go out on a Friday. I said, oh, well, you know what, let me think about it. So we did. 3 weeks later, there we go on a date. So
I had to go through a lot of rejection, and I actually had an idea that worked for me. I asked her brother, Peter, if I could take his sister out. So I tried to go a different route that all the other guys that were trying to get at her were going. I tried to go a different route, and I got Peter's blessings. Peter says, if she wants, thank you for asking, first of all. And because you asked, if she wants to go out with you, you have my blessings. And I think that was a huge advantage that I had over everybody else that was trying to date her at the office. Because you had like a bunch of testosterone collectors like going after her, trying to chase her down, and she would be friendly with everyone, but she wouldn't take anyone serious like enough to go out with them. So she finally gave me that opportunity 3 weeks after following up, consistent follow up. I did a marketing campaign. I did all kinds of stuff. Just kidding.
Well, anyways, yeah. So we went out. 3 weeks later, we went out on a date, and that's how we continue our relationship. You know, as knowing each other. Got to know him, his personality. He got to know me. You know, I said to myself, you know what? He's a great man. He's a hardworking man. Um, he treats me great. What else can I ask for? So let me give him a try. That's what I said. So let me give him a try. And here we go. 17 years later, we're still.
I remember thinking to myself, if you gave me an opportunity and you took me serious, I remember promising myself that I would do everything in my power to take good care of you, to treat you good, and to try to give you the world. I remember that still. And this was back in 2007. So I hope that I've been meeting not only my own promise, but that promise to you, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of you guys follow him on social media, so you guys could decide if he's still, you know, try to give me the world and stuff. And of course, he is every day. You know, he everything he does is for his family, which is my kids and myself. So he wakes up wanting to do better every day. So we are the motivation for him to go and execute his dreams. So I love being part of that.
I want people to understand how powerful that is, though, because you and the kids are my secret weapon. And you guys give me the energy and the power and the intelligence and the blessing from God to be able to do amazing things, like incredible things that I didn't even think I would ever be capable of doing. And I need people to really understand that. Once they start connecting like the importance of their family to what they're doing every day, I think people will find serious purpose in life. They need to understand that. So, and another thing that I want to add is that you really give me ideas and inspirations that I don't think any man could get other than from his woman. So I really want people to understand that. Let's fast forward a few years after, we're already living together, we're in an apartment. Let's talk about how you got me to move out of my mom's house. I lived with my mom my whole life.
That was not a few years after. It was like maybe a year after.
No, I think we were dating for like
9 months.
9 months, maybe 9, 10 months, and
He was still at his mom's house, right? So if you want to move out, you want to move out with the man, with the person that supports your household, right? I didn't want to go move in with my in-laws. I said, you know what? I'm moving out of my mom's. Do you want to come and live with me, or live together? I'm sorry, it was the words. Do you want to come and live together, or do you just want to stay at your mom's? You know, so he he was a little bit nervous because he always lived
I was
at his
23
mom's.
years old.
So
You're giving them the PG version though. So you got to talk about how you went through a divorce and you lost your house and you have your son, my stepson's my oldest
Yes.
son. I don't even consider him my stepson. I consider him my son. He's 20 years old right now. He works with me in collections. And he was 3 years old at the time. And when you went through this divorce, you and your ex-husband lost your house, and you lived with your dad. You had a bad relationship with your stepmom, and eventually she made you leave your dad's house with your son. You had to move in with your mom's house, and you and your mom were kind of bumping heads, and you had to move out of your mom's house because you just couldn't stand living there anymore.
Yeah.
So you're working at a collection agency, and we're dating. Like, they have to see the whole picture, right?
Right.
And I'm comfortable at my mom's house because I'm used to it. And I start dating you, and I love you already. I'm already falling like deep in love with you, and I want to take care of you. And I remember the promise I made that if this girl gives me a chance, I'm gonna give her the world. So I said, I don't have a choice. But the way you asked me is, you said, do you want to come live with me? Because if you come live with me, we're gonna continue our relationship. And if not, I think that's it. So
Bottom line, are you in or you out? What are you talking? In or out of what?
No time for questions, just action.
You really didn't give me a choice. You're like, you either
Yeah.
fucking come live with me.
I wanted to hear it from him, right? If you give him two options. Always give your anything you do, give him two options, right? There's two options. Take it or leave it. He has two other children from his previous relationship, so I wanted to see what kind of man I was getting into, right? Because if he was still living at his mom's with two kids, my mind was like, what? Why is he still at his mom with two children, right? So that's why I gave him those options.
We need to ask my
And-
mom because my mom remembers.
and-
because I had to sit her down so she wouldn't pass out. I'm like, Mom, I gotta talk to you. So I'm gonna be moving out with Natalie because she pretty much told me either you move out with me to continue our relationship or we're done if you're gonna stay living at your mom's. Well, while I'm out there living on my own, like I need a man to help me. So sometimes a man, a good man, a real man, sometimes needs a woman to push him a little bit. And that's what you did. You pushed me, and you always joke around, like
Yeah.
you always fuck with me, saying like, if it wasn't for me, you used to be at your
Yeah.
mom's house.
He will still be,
40 years
five
old?
kids later, he'll still be at his mom's. I'm just kidding.
All those kids would be with you,
But-
though, honey. All those kids would be with you. So, all right, so we move out, and this is when things got really rough for us. We moved into an apartment right down the street from the law firm in Ontario where I worked, and the rent was expensive. We got a Suburban. I bought a truck on credit, and I remember getting the truck repoed because she moved out of her mom's house. We got this apartment, and we got the truck repoed. Like we would literally have no money. We ended up having to move out of the apartment because we couldn't pay it. So then we went back to her mom's house. I moved in with them because we were already used to living with each other. My son was born, Michael Jr., who's 15 and a half right now, about to be 16. And you want to talk about the struggles of those days?
Yes. So, yes.
What year was this? 2008,
Eight. No, 2009.
2009.
Nine.
Yes, 2009. My
So
son was
we
born.
were at an apartment in Ontario. We couldn't pay the rent because I was a stay-home mom. He was the only one working. We had to pay rent, a car payment, child support, food, gas, etc. Right?
I was taking home about 3,000 to 4,000 a month take home. I think I was making like 5 or 6 grand, roughly.
Yeah.
But this was back in 2009. I don't know how those of you that make that now, I don't know how the fuck you guys survive. I just want to add that. Like, if I couldn't survive back then with an apartment and a Suburban and a wife or my girlfriend back at the time, we weren't married yet, and a son, I don't know how you guys survive. So God knows, like, we struggled.
I started to hustle with him, and another, in those words, he would come home stressed, saying, we need extra income. So what we did is, he got in a nice suit. We went to El Monte, California, and we went to go look for businesses out there that we could collect their debt for cart dealerships. So we went door knocking to see if any of those owners would want to give us accounts to collect for them. So luckily, we were blessed that some of them gave us some accounts, and that's how we took those accounts home. Where he was at work, I was at home in the morning calling those debtors, calling those people that didn't go pay their down payment to get a car or stuff like that. So when he would come home, he will follow up with those people that I have called them in the morning to either go pick up the truck or car that they bought and never paid. So that's how we had a little bit of extra money here and there.
And this was from our living room, by the way. So I had a little desk in our living room next to our TV, like in the corner. And that was like basically our office in the apartment. This is before we had to give up the apartment.
Yeah.
But we were taking, after hours, I was calling. She was working during business hours while I was at the office at the law firm doing collections. So, we maybe earned an extra $500 to $1,000 a month because it was very part-time. We couldn't do it anymore because we had to move out of our apartment. Not having money to pay bills, where we would get gold on credit and we would pawn it, or not pawn it, but she would resell it. And you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so I remember my...
'Cause I don't even know how you did that.
So we needed money to pay one of our bills. Either it was a car payment, a gas bill, a light bill, who knows, right? At those times. So what I did is I said, you know what? Calm down. Let me go see how what I could do. I called one of my mom's friends. She would sell gold to my mom or to around the area where my mom was from, in payments. So she would come and say, "Hey, I have gold earrings, chains, whatever it was. Um,
You'd get it on credit and
I'll
then
get it
resell
on
it.
credit with her." For example, she sold me a chain, and I said, I need a thick one. I thought to myself, I need a thick gold chain because the more it weighs, the more money I'm going to get for it. So I told her, can you bring me chains? Can you bring me, I wanted semi-thick. So she comes, she says, here, this is what I have. And I remember buying a chain for $1,000, right? In credit, on credit with her. I would make a payment to her $100 a month until I paid off. If I had more, I would give her more, 150 a month until I paid off. So what I did, I bought that chain from her and I went immediately the next day or maybe the same day to sell it to the people that would buy gold. So
We take a loss.
yeah,
We weren't even profiting. We were taking a loss on it.
yeah, but I needed that money in at the moment within the week to pay to make
So
a
we're just getting
payment.
more in
So
debt.
what I did is I went into I sold the chain for maybe it was like $600 that they gave me 400. I just don't remember on top of my head, but I know it was less than what I bought it for. And I would come and say, hey, here, baby, here's 400, $600. Let's go pay truck or whatever bill is due now. So I bought from that lady 3 times to
It
come
was
out
like
of the
getting
hole,
us
you
out
know?
of
It just
it was like getting us out of a hole temporarily to put us in another one. But we didn't know any better. We were just trying to survive. We were in survival mode, and we had my son. And eventually, I went back to work from the law firm. I went back to work at my first collection agency where I met her. They offered me a little bit more money to come back, and they had a rule, right, that no one can come back once they leave. Well, they let me back, so I was that fucking good, and they offered me more money to come back. But then from there, I felt like I was stuck. Like we were making progress. I didn't know what I was gonna do.
for those people, sorry to interrupt you, at this moment, feeling like this, that you guys don't know the way out, you're in a black room with no doors, hang in there. Hang in there, work hard, don't give up on your dreams. Always dream, dream, dream extremely high. The sky is the limit. And eventually your dreams are gonna come true. You know how many times I prayed to God and I dreamt about this life. It's so hard to explain, but I say, you know what? I know that one day we're gonna be successful. I know one day we're gonna have money to travel. You know, I'm gonna be able to buy my kids what I didn't have. So all those sacrifices then is worth your life in the future. So don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on um, those hard times in your life.
Yeah, I think they just have to remember to keep swinging. Like if you're a, a man would probably relate more to my analogy. It's like you're in a fight, but you're not going down. You just got to keep swinging and believe that you're going to knock this fool out eventually. And that's kind of what success and pulling yourself out of poverty and being poor, that's really what it comes down to. So there's still a lot more struggles that we went through after 2012 before we got to where we're at today. And there's a lot of victories that we also want to share with you. So stay tuned. Make sure you guys stay dialed in to our journey. Make sure that you're on Mondays with Mike, tuning in, so you could keep learning about what it takes to get to where you want to get to. So
Thank you guys. Thank you for watching. And we wish you guys many blessings in your life.